The 15 most prominent cardinals to be the next pope. Number 15. Gerhard Ludwig Müller, former prefect of the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith. Germany, 77 years old. In 15th place is Gerhard Ludwig Müller, a German theologian with a strong traditional background. Former prefect of the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith under Benedict XVI, Müller has been described as one of the strongest and most prominent voices of opposition to Pope Francis. With a frank and direct style, he led the conservative sector of the conclave, denouncing the doctrinal weakness of the current pontificate. Surrounded by his books, Müller reveals himself to be an implacable intellectual. Critical of changes in liturgy and morality, he embodies the resistance to the reforms of recent years. Number 14. Robert Sarah, former prefect of divine worship and the discipline of the sacraments. Guinea, 79 years old. Cardinal Robert Sarah, 79, famous for his deep voice and traditional stance, comes from Guinea. Known for his role as prefect emeritus of divine worship, Sarah follows a traditional and orthodox tendency far removed from the progressive line. He openly defends priestly celibacy. He even co-wrote a book gently challenging the Pope on this issue in 2020 and describes gender ideology as a threat. A strong speaker, the African plays in the conservative camp. He aspires to a papacy strong in doctrine, close to the ancient roots of the Church. Number 13. Oswald Gracias, Archbishop of Bombay and member of the Council of Cardinals. India, 79 years old. In 13th place is Oswald Gracias, a 79-year-old Indian cardinal and current Archbishop Emeritus of Bombay. Gracias is a pragmatic and moderate man. A polyglot and diplomat, he has spent almost his entire career in the Vatican or as a nuncio, specializing in the Eastern churches. Close to Francis, he stands out for his inclusive vision. He himself stated that no one is outside the church. All the baptized and those who wish to enter are invited as disciples. Furthermore, he has spoken out with conviction in defense of the environment, emphasizing that in India, the church is at the forefront in the defense of creation. Traditional in doctrine, firm on issues of life and family, Gracias balances conservatism with social sensitivity. He promoted pro-life marches in India and advocates for a synodal church where everyone participates. Number 12. Carlos Aguaretes, Archbishop Primate of Mexico. Mexico, 74 years old. Number 12 is Cardinal Carlos Aguaretes, Archbishop Primate of Mexico, 74 years old. His ecclesial career was recognized in Latin America. He presided over CELAM and the Mexican Episcopal Conference, promoting collaborative work among bishops. Close to the people, Aguaretes shares Francis's approach, a church more open, closer to the people, and focused on community work. He is associated with pastoral reforms and social dialogue, but also remains faithful to the Catholic faith. His warm style, touring neighborhoods, encouraging the faithful to reach out, made him popular among the faithful and respected in Rome. As an influential host in Mexico, he embodies the generational transition sought by many in the Latin American Church. Number 11. Claudio Gaegli, Prefect of the Dicastery for the Eastern Churches. Italy, 68 years old. Cardinal Claudio Gaegli, a 68-year-old Italian, heads the dicastery that cares for the Eastern Churches. A polyglot and academic, he spent his entire life as a Vatican official or apostolic nuncio, with no diocesan pastoral experience. An Eastern Rite philosopher, he has promoted the liturgy and traditions of those communities. Despite his discretion, he signaled a moral voice. In 2023, upon assuming the office of prefect, he condemned the war in Ukraine as a massacre and a barbaric war. In short, Gaegli combines the serenity of a scholar with diplomatic experience. He prefers to work in silence, but does not shy away from speaking out on global calamities, representing the universal church with equanimity. Number 10. Wilton Gregory, Archbishop of Washington, United States, 76 years old. Closing out the top 10 is Wilton Gregory, Archdiocese of Washington, 76 years old. The first African-American cardinal in the U.S., Gregory is revered for his pastoral record and for confronting major racial challenges. Throughout his long career, he has emphasized rejecting all racism and injustice, reminding everyone that all Catholics are children of God with dignity. He was recently relieved of his post in Washington after reaching retirement age, but remains a mentor to young church leaders. With a calm voice and firm convictions, Gregory is seen as a moderate who advocates for reconciliation and discipline, a spiritual leader who knew how to lead the archdiocese in times of cultural tension. Number 9. Angelo de Donatis, Vicar General of Rome, Italy, 70 years old. In 9th place is Angelo de Donatis, a 70-year-old Italian and Vicar General of the Diocese of Rome. Francis's right-hand man in the capital, de Donatis, is known for his youthful ardor and accessible style. He was a parish priest in working-class neighborhoods and in his homilies often preaches tenderly about mercy and family life. Although he aligns himself with the Pope's approach to social issues, he also maintains a foundation of liturgical orthodoxy, a bridge between Roman tradition and the call to reach out to the periphery. His people-oriented nature and fidelity to the pontificate make him an attractive candidate for those seeking continuity in the Church Urbe et Orbi in Rome. Number 8. Jean-Marc Aveline, Archbishop of Marseille, France, 65. Cardinal Jean-Marc Aveline, 65-year-old Archbishop of Marseille, has a distinctly pastoral profile. Appointed cardinal by Francis in 2022, Aveline has focused on welcoming migrants and interreligious dialogue in the multicultural French port. As a former parish priest in poor neighborhoods, he emphasizes closeness to the marginalized. He organizes solidarity events and champions the cause of social justice and ecumenism. Conservative in morals but open in style, his voice has resonated alongside other progressive prelates, championing dialogue between Christians and Muslims. In short, Aveline represents the social pastor. He tends to the wounds of globalization without abandoning Catholic doctrine. Number 7. Peter Turkson, former prefect for Integral Human Development, Ghana, 76. Peter Kadwo Apaya Turkson, 76, from Ghana, was for years the African face of Francis's pontificate. As prefect for Integral Human Development, now the Dicastery for Human Promotion, he helped launch the environmental encyclical Laudato Si. The Guardian called him the public face of Francis's war on climate change, noting that he is vital to the vision of a church committed to the poor. Affable and charismatic, Turkson has championed global social justice. His statements have sometimes sparked controversy, for example regarding Islam, but they always emphasize his mediating role in global issues. His credit includes spearheading the publication of Laudato Si and advising the Pope on sustainable development, thus fulfilling the mission of a church, outward-looking, acting for the poor. Number 6. Pietro Parolin, Vatican Secretary of State, Italy, 69 years old. Cardinal Pietro Parolin, the 69-year-old Vatican Secretary of State, is the skilled diplomat on the list. A former nuncio in difficult countries like Venezuela, Parolin has been Francis's second-in-command during the pontificate, firmly managing the Holy See's diplomacy. He is described as a prudent politician with a broad, practical sense, capable of building bridges with governments of all stripes. Conservative in theology but with a natural negotiating instinct, he has managed the Church's relationship with China and the Middle East. Although less visible in public debates, his internal influence is enormous. He is the manager of the Curia, a papal head of government respected for his experience and loyalty. Number 5. Pierbattista Pizzala, Latin Patriarch of Jerusalem, Israel/Italy, 59 years old. At just 59 years old, Pierbattista Pizzala, Latin Patriarch of Jerusalem, appears. A Franciscan of Italian origin, Pizzala has lived almost his entire life in the Holy Land, learning Arabic and Hebrew. He is hailed as a bridge builder. The Catholic Herald notes that he knew how to forge friendships between Israelis, Palestinians, Jordanians, and Egyptians, earning a reputation as a moderate, patient, and communicative man. In 2014, he organized a historic peace prayer at the Vatican, with leaders of Israel and Palestine in the presence of the Pope. His motto is closeness, Sometimes brusque at first, he becomes warm and smiling upon meeting him. In 2023, already a cardinal, Pizzala experienced the war in Gaza dramatically. He criticized the excesses of the Israeli army, but also offered himself as a hostage in a prisoner exchange, seeking compassion from both sides. He is a leader whose daily life demands balance and discretion, and whose experience in the Middle East is unique in the College of Cardinals. Number 4. Fredolin Ambongo Bassungu, Archbishop of Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of the Congo, 64 years old. In fourth place is Fredolin Ambongo Bassungu, a 64-year-old African, current Archbishop of Kinshasa and President of SICAM, the Assembly of African Bishops. His case combines tradition and reform. He spearheaded the Continental Declaration that called blessing homosexual couples in Africa inappropriate because it contradicted the cultural ethos of local communities. In other words, he maintained conservative doctrinal positions, but at the same time, Ambongo has been a courageous advocate for social justice in Congo. In 2016, he led the democratic opposition to President Kabila and negotiated the peace that allowed for elections in 2018. Furthermore, as a Capuchin, he defends creation, his open defense of the environment, denouncing oil companies, mining companies, and corrupt politicians has even earned him death threats. Francis trusts him completely. Ambongo was invited to the C9 of Cardinals that advises the Pope and successfully organized a papal visit to the DRC in 2023. In short, he combines compassion with courage, a pastor close to the people but willing to publicly disagree if he believes his doctrine or the integrity of his people is being violated. Number 3. Mateo Maria Zupi, Archbishop of Bologna and President of the Italian Episcopal Conference, Italy, 68 years old. In third place is Matteo Zupi, Archbishop of Bologna, 68 years old, a former leader of the community of Sant'Egidio. He has been dubbed by many as the, quote, parish priest of Italy. He is approachable and humble. He preaches with feeling. At a vigil at Sant'Egidio for refugees who died in the Mediterranean, he stated that, "We must weep for migrants as a mother weeps for her children." His ministry focuses on the least of these, migrants, the poor, and the forgotten elderly. Progressive in style, more than in doctrine, Zupi promotes solidarity. He supported interreligious initiatives and speaks of the need for a church, poor for the poor. Affable in nature, he was remembered for his paternal tone. He always reaches out to people, to the pain of the victims, to the silence of those in need. Number 2. Luis Antonio Taglay, Pro-Prefect of the Dicastery for Evangelization, Philippines, 67 years old. Luis Antonio Taglay, Manila 67, is perhaps Asia's most popular face in the church. Born into a humble family, a Jesuit by training, he rose to lead the powerful Archdiocese of Manila. Francis so appreciated him that he called him the future of the church in Asia, and today he considers him one of his most trusted men. Infobae describes him as the Francis of Asia for his pastoral positions close to the pontiff. Cardinal Taglay is warm and evangelical. He dominates social media and is famous for his friendly videos talking to young people. In 2022, he was appointed prefect of the new Congregation for Evangelization, a reflection of his mission. His homilies, full of humor and tenderness, attract crowds, and his global vision, with Filipino and Chinese roots, makes him a charismatic candidate who symbolizes the openness of the current papacy. Number 1. Victor Manuel Fernandez, Prefect of the Dicastery for the Doctrine of the Faith, Argentina, 61 years old. At the top of the list is Victor Manuel Tucho Fernandez, a 61-year-old Argentine and current Prefect of the Doctrine of the Faith. Former Archbishop of La Plata and former Rector of the Catholic University of Argentina, Fernandez is considered Pope Francis's chief theologian, a man very close to the pontiff. He accompanied him for years as confessor and advisor. He possesses an intellectual yet understandable style, always at the service of evangelization. His appointment in 2023 to head the Doctrine of the Faith sparked fierce criticism from the conservative faction due to his innovative and progressive ideas. He responds serenely, "I will not ask that you love me, but that you respect me." Fernandez advocates for a theology at the service of today's church, more open to listening to contemporary challenges. A confidant of Francis He embodies the continuity of the Reform. He is young, close to the Pope, and prepared to keep alive the pastoral revolution begun in recent years.
Thank you for watching our video. Subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Give it a like, comment your thoughts, and share this video with your friends and family.